All right. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I wanted to get to this conference last year and I had a conflict, but and hopefully next year I can meet everybody in person. But anyway, for this conference, um, I think I've got something really cool to talk to you about, and especially towards the end of the presentation. I've never talked about it before. So I think there's something really cool here that you'll be able to pick up, and some tips on ranking on Amazon that you might not have heard about before. So the first thing with press releases, I've been using press releases for over 20 years, and it's for multiple different companies, but for Amazon, I heard about this through another organization about 4 or 5 years ago. They said that they were using press releases almost every day of the week. And I thought that was crazy. But I ended up doing that sort of strategy, and my products were ranking all over the place very quickly and sticking. This is just an example of what we missed out on. We weren't ranking for these certain keywords, and all of a sudden, boom, a few more press releases and a few more rebates, and now we're up and we're working, and we're running really nicely. And you've got this this keyword framework that you keep building out, so it's really broad. So did this work? I think so. We did 8 press releases. It cost $1,600. We did 100 rebates. Okay, hold yourself. Don't have a heart attack. But it was $7,900. So Amazon paid the settlement, because it was full price purchase or rebate, was $1,900. So the total cost was $3,558. Or sorry, $3,588. That's the dyslexic in me. All right, let's try this now. Did it work? Sales were $66,000 and profit was $42,000. So here's something, and Liz, I told you this, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, but it also, because we brought that trust value up, we also were able to bring up the perceived value. And when we launched this product, it was $49. We were able to, we did change the packaging, but we got it up to as high as 124 after this, from 49 to 124. And again, we're doing press releases as we're speaking right now, but we've rechanged the packaging. It's $3 extra, and the same product is being sold at $224, and the cost of goods is $16. So this helps us every time we do a press release campaign and rebates. Guess what we did? We brought the product up $10, and then we waited for about a month. We wanted to get established, and we brought it up a bit more. So it's also, if you've got perceived value in your product, press releases and rebates can work. People just think it's launch and rank. It's that authority and trust, and you can increase your product and your price optimization. So think about that. You can, and you still can absolutely crush it on Amazon by using this method. So I'm not sure if there's any other questions, but that's it.
You put a beard on a little dude. That's so cute.
That was actually me. No.
We're just talking Amazon and just online opportunities. I know this is Midwest e-com, and of course e-com is short for e-commerce. And there's probably gonna be a lot of Amazon dominating the conversation if I had to make a prediction. And it's just because Amazon is the largest and most trusted marketplace. I think that's something people forget. They say, oh, Amazon's the largest marketplace. It's like, yeah, but it's largest for a reason. It's because it's the most trusted. So if you want to sell a product online, which I think most people hear, probably most people on, they're doing Google searches or anything, but like, I want to make extra money on the internet, because everybody wants to make extra money. Not everybody's trying to make $1 million, but everybody wants to know how to make money on the internet. And to do that, you have to sell something. I really can't think of an example where you're not actually selling something. Now I think when people, are thinking selling something, they're thinking physical products, or you have to sell toys, you have to sell books, you have to sell a physical product. But there's other things you can sell. You can sell digital products, you can sell information, and there's lots of ways to kind of weave those things together, but ultimately you still have to be selling something. And to sell something, you need a marketplace, you need to get in front of customers. Customers have to have a way to both purchase and get your products delivered. And to me, that's where Amazon kind of fits in nice and perfect, right? They're a place where customers go, like a lot of times first, oftentimes only when they want to buy something, which I think is more important than people will realize. They're like, oh, but I'm on all these other channels. And I'm like, I don't care. Like if you're not on Amazon, I don't know. I'm not trying to be down on other platforms. I get there's there's uses for eBay. Like I'm like everything here, I bought from eBay this week. This stuff isn't on, well, it is on Amazon, but it's not made for Amazon, or Amazon's not made for it. And of course, Etsy, I mean, you're saying you're like really interested in spending a lot of time with Etsy. I think Etsy is an amazing place, especially when you know some of the other platforms that are out there for creating products and then getting in front of your customers. But in general, Amazon is going to be the number one place where if you're not on Amazon, it's almost like, do you really exist? And you have to sell something if you want to make money on the internet. And I guess I've probably done everything. I mean, I really started with eBay, went to Amazon, was a very early FBA seller, very early in the FBA software, very early publishing through Amazon's Kindle platform, and then very early to Amazon's Merch by Amazon platform for print-on-demand apparel. And hey, love, could I borrow your phone case? I want to show people the new phone cases. And this Merch by Amazon program has grown and grown over the past 5 years. And, I really haven't really thought of it that way, but just as I explain those things, like I wasn't early to eBay. My mom was actually earlier on eBay than I was. She was selling like antiques on eBay, like 1997, I think. And I really wasn't on eBay till 99. But definitely early to all of the other platforms. And it's given me a little bit of an advantage. There's a huge advantage to being first. And I'll kind of put that out there as my kind of first tip of the day, is when you see something that looks interesting, if it's interesting to you and you're like, hey, I think there's like a lot of opportunities here, then follow your instincts, like follow your gut and be like, you know what, I'm going to spend some time here and, see if there's some opportunities, because if you're first and you're right, you're going to have a huge, huge advantage. You want to keep your phone?
Oh, sure.
You keep your phone. I'll just borrow your case. So I'll show you some of the cool stuff that's come out from Amazon. Just last week, some new updates came out from Merch by Amazon, which means more products. So I've come from a physical product selling standpoint, sourcing products at retail, sourcing products online. I never really got into wholesale and private label. So when you hear selling on Amazon, there's these different categories of sourcing products. I am not your wholesale or your private label guy. There's plenty of people that do that. I like sourcing at retail because it was easy, right? Like you didn't have any rules. You could buy anything that you wanted, but it was limited on quantity and replenishment opportunities. And then getting into self-publishing. And then I was a speaker. And Travis and I have known each other since the beginning that he's done this. We've hosted our own conferences and attended other people's conferences. There's so much demand or like interest out there for making money on the internet. It always comes back to selling products, and it goes back to being on Amazon. So then you get overwhelmed with, well, what should I do? What should I sell? Should I sell other people's products? Should I make my own products? That's going to depend on your location, how much money you want to make, how much capital you have to invest, and your skill set, and your interests, and kind of where you enjoy spending your time. So for the past, I guess, 3 years, though the platform's been out for 5 years. But the past 2 or 3 years, I've been heavy on the Merch by Amazon and KDP side of things. And it's not because I'm picking those platforms as like winners, but for me, they're just more interesting because these platforms are print on demand. Now, Merch by Amazon is very similar in the fact that you get Amazon product pages for free, Prime eligible. When they sell, Amazon does all the work and they give you money, except Merch by Amazon is really around apparel, and they're getting into cell phone accessories. So they have t-shirts, tank tops, v-necks, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. I think that's it. That's it for apparel. And now they have pop sockets and cell phone cases. Cell phone cases just came out last week, and I love the cell phone cases. So this is one of their cell phone cases. This is for iPhone 11, I guess. And this was actually created and uploaded by my daughter. She went on a royalty-free image website, got this image. She really liked the contrast, and it's just a full bleed. So anybody can do this, right? You don't have to actually design a t-shirt that has to look good in a certain placement or anything. Nope. All you gotta do is full bleed over the edge. Amazon is going to do the rest. So you can take any image that you have rights to, of course, royalty-free or your own images, upload them, and now you're selling cell phone cases. And they have cell phone cases for all the iPhone models and most of the Samsung Galaxy models, and they have pop sockets. If you think maybe I shouldn't write this, you probably shouldn't. But when it comes to things that adults want to write about and read about, it's kind of free reign. There is no actual, application. You don't have to get approval. When you do upload it, you do have to tell Amazon, does this contain adult content? because they're going to, put it in an adult category so that kids can't search for it. It's not going to show in general search results unless you're looking for adult content, things like that. But they've covered all this stuff. I mean, Amazon is very much a free speech place. You can publish anything that you want.
I'm signing up today. Just so
Awesome.
you know.
I went on Fiverr and I hired 2 different Kindle erotica writers.
Well, no, I'm not going to do erotica, but like I was a freelance
big category
before, but so Chris, thank you so much. You're so cool. I
don't know about that.
No, you are, man. So if people have questions for Chris, how do they contact you?
chrisgreen.com. I've got my phone number listed on the internet. I mean, you can text me. You want to do it? Let's do a little test, right? I'll put my texting number in the chat, and I put this here as a little bit of a test because most people, I'll tell you, most won't and most don't. Most people won't message me. 512-790-7040. Most people won't. Most won't and most don't. So the ones that do, hey, I'll write back. It'll send me a message right here. But most won't and most don't. The ones that do, hey, I'll write back. You have a quick question, I'll be more than happy to answer it. If someone really wants more information, this is the way to do it, right? Like if you're not going to text me, you're not going to go to my website anyway. But it's chrisgreen.com. It's facebook.com/Chris. The merch challenge is, I say, the easiest, most inexpensive way to learn these things. 14 days of live training with me for only $37. Yeah, it's way underpriced. Maybe I'll pull it one of these days. It's not like I'm going to do it and then pull it on purpose, but it's a lot of training for just $37. But you learn a lot. And if you can't tell, I like talking about this stuff. It's like really fun. There's so many opportunities, not just for me, but for other people. So if I can help people, I'm more than happy to do it. And yeah, this was fun. I hope the rest of the event goes really well. And sorry, Lance, for going late.
Thank you, Chris. You're awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
So I'm Lance Bachman. I'm the president of One SEO. We're going to talk about driving more e-commerce sales through digital marketing and SEO, PPC strategy, and make sure you're tracking. So let me force this. So we're U.S. Search Award winners 2 times now, actually 3 times. And the reason why I think it's important for this is it's all data driven. It's a blind submission, and it comes back based on the work you did and the results that you produced. That's one of my favorite. We're a Facebook Premier partner, Google Premier partner. The reason why I asked Bernie to be on here with us, Bernie's on with me most of the days, 24 hours a day. We have about 150 employees. So Bernie we're actually breaking Bernie, and he loves talking.
My favorite thing.
It is. So it's Bernie's first time actually presenting, and he really is looking forward to talking about e-commerce. He loves e-commerce. So Bernie, why don't you tell them what we're going to cover today first?
Yeah, sure. So today, guys, what we're going to talk about first is the state of e-commerce. By that, we're going to give you an overview of what the market looks like, what the numbers look like out there, what the purchase behavior is. And then we're going to teach you how to set things up and track your ROI. Because a lot of the times when people start doing e-commerce advertising, they're not set up to track their sales and really know what's coming from where. And then we're going to get into optimizing your social or your online presence totally from the organic side and the paid side. And then we're going to get into some strategy from PPC and social media from that standpoint. And then we're going to teach you all about retargeting. And this is about, how to get people to buy once they put stuff in their cart and abandon it, how to do good email marketing. And then we're going to get into some Q&A. So we got a good agenda for you today.
So for those of you that are out by your pool watching this, enjoying yourself because of COVID, have fun. Make sure you probably have a drink now. It's almost 12 o'clock, so have fun. So introduce your business, drive for actions. You want to have actions. You can do ads on Google, on YouTube, I mean. And video, so everyone understands, people think video costs so much money now. The price of video has gone down and it's so effective. We can make videos, you shoot a video on your iPhone now, we can clean it up and it looks incredible. So, I mean, people don't have to undertake this massive video budget. So capture the full value of true views, right? So you don't pay unless somebody watches the whole thing. If someone clicks out, you don't pay for it. It's a no-brainer, building brand loyalty, understanding your cost per acquisition on this. It's a measurable impact of your brand, and it really helps for all the other multiple touch points right here. The product works. Right here is one of our clients right here. And the reason I picked Keith for this is Keith's been with me for 11 years now. Keith sells trophies, plaques, everything, and we took him across the country for Spike's trophies. Well, Keith had to pivot. And because when COVID hit, we shut down. So we immediately went right into the PPE business for Keith. So we brought all 45 employees back now. that he lost during COVID, and they're all back doing this. Wow.
Last year, we got one of our largest online orders through somebody that I know that had no contact with us, and it was not in our area, and called up and said, we're on your website looking at this product that we searched and we found you. That came from the SEO and the pay-per-click that we've worked with One SEO from. And that happens every day. So whenever I'm talking to my counterparts, other presidents or lead people within organizations, and they're struggling with their online component or in their online marketing, I always recommend, well, I use One.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. Great to be here. Unfortunately, we could not be in person, but we'll do best what we can. So again, my name is Amit, and I founded this community called Credit Card 101 a few years back. Just on my background, again, I'm not an attorney or an accountant. All the information given here is not to be considered legal or accounting advice, and it's for entertainment purposes only. Quick background, I have a PhD in material science. I'm employed full-time. I work for a company as a research scientist. I have a blog called creditcard101.us, and I'm very active on my Facebook group and community called Credit Card 101. So if you're not on it and are interested in learning more about credit cards and reward programs, I recommend joining it. It's free. I also run a parallel company called Book My Points, where we actually help individuals, families, business owners kind of look at their points and miles portfolio and tell them how they can maximize it. So I'll deep dive into it as we move forward, what we do and what we do not do. And with that, I am an e-commerce seller on Amazon, eBay, Mercari, and some other platforms. And just a quick background of how I got started selling on e-commerce platforms. It was strictly for credit card points. I was honestly not looking for profit. Don't ask me why. Things have changed over time. But back in 2016, I had a Discover credit card, or applied for a Discover credit card, and they had a very interesting promo. It said 20% cash back for the first 4 or 5 months when you had the card, if you shop anything through the wallet, to the mobile wallet, to the Apple Wallet. And back in 2016, you could sell Apple products. They were not restricted. So what I found out is I was buying these Apple Watches from Best Buy. They were like $300 a piece, and they were being sold on Amazon for like $330, $340. So really, I was only making $10 on a watch. And obviously, there was a lot of risk of product being returned, such a high cost item with such a low ROI. But on the back end, I was making $60 a watch on my Discover credit card. So cutting my story short, I made thousands of dollars just on that Discover credit card over the period of time. Maybe I had 2 returned watches of hundreds of watches and Apple iPads I sold. So it was a decent risk, which worked in my favor. And since then, this just intrigued me selling on Amazon. So now I have a store on Amazon. I also sell on Shopify. We've been doing some stuff over there as well. I have some partners in Europe with whom I'm working on, and how we maximize our credit card rewards in different ways. So just a quick overview of presentation. You probably all know this guy, great guy. Him and I butt heads on credit cards. So just ignore him for the next 40 minutes, then you can follow him again. Again, I like all his principles. I follow myself a lot, but I just do not agree with his ideology on credit card. In a sense, a 524 rules means if you have applied for 5 cards from any bank in the last 2 years, Chase is not going to approve you for cards, period. Earlier, this was only to personal cards. To business card, but it's now all across the board. So Chase is not going to approve even if you for third-party cards like Disney or Amazon card or Southwest card, anything, if you had 5 credit cards. The exception to that rule is if you had business cards from, Chase, Citi, American Express, those would probably not count towards 5. But if you had any other cards, they're going to count towards the 5. Sometimes they even count personal loans. If you take on a personal loan, that's going to take up a slot in 524. And why do I say this is huge? Because Chase, hands down, has some of the best credit cards, reward credit cards in the industry. I personally have 9 Chase credit cards, and I'm not canceled any one of them. I get benefit from each of these cards by paying a small annual fee. Some of them have $49 fee, some of them have a $95 fee. So I get a free night certificate from them or something of that sort. So I keep these cards open for that reason. Something very popular with Chase is their Southwest Companion Pass, or with the Southwest Companion card. So if you have a family and you stay close to a Southwest hub, I highly recommend understanding what the Southwest Companion Pass is all about. In a nutshell, if you travel with a partner and you pay for a ticket using miles or cash, the second person travels for free, which is great. And Southwest has no cancellation policies. You know, if the rates drop, they adjust your rate. You can rebook your tickets at the lower price. So really good. It never made sense to me because I'm not in a Southwest hub. But if you're in a Southwest hub, definitely check out the Companion Pass. The best time to apply for a Companion Pass is towards end of a calendar year. So now is not a good time to apply for Southwest cards. I usually recommend people wait until November or December and do not finish the minimum spending until January of 2021. Why is that? Because a Companion Pass is good for 2 calendar years, not 2 years from the time you got approved. So if you finish your minimum spending in January 2021, your Companion Pass will be good for entire 2021 and entire 2022. So for 2 years, the companion can fly for free. If you have a family of 4, both husband and wife can get a Companion Pass, and the whole family flies for free for the next 2 years. So the way to earn Companion Pass is by earning 110,000 points on the Southwest card. The way to do that is you can apply for 2 Southwest cards, a business card and a personal card, or 2 business cards. Now actually they're limiting it to, so if you had a business card and a bonus before, Southwest, Chase does not allow you to earn a sign-up bonus again. They do have a card, which is the premier one, Premier Business, which has a high fee of $195 and usually comes with a nice sign-up bonus towards the end of the year. I would just wait for that and put your business spending on that card so you get 210,000 miles and the sign-up bonus. And Southwest also has a shopping portal, so anything you shop through the shopping portal also counts towards the Companion Pass.
Recording live. All right, so welcome everybody to the to the Midwest Ecom event. This is my shot at spilling some data, but I know today started a bit early, around 7 a.m. for many of you. So I hope I'm not gonna make this tedious. I'm just gonna actually try to make you guys kind of look back, step back a little bit, and try to figure out what's going on, especially for Amazon sellers. So I guess the premise of all this is, you guys sell on Amazon. Congratulations, you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures. Congratulations, it's really, really good. The purpose of this presentation is really to kind of put perspective on things and realize there's chances to minimize fees or minimize the cost of doing business on Amazon. And by effectively doing that, increase your profits. Because imagine you're selling $1 million a year, all the revenue stays the same, but you're paying less and less fees. It all goes directly to the bottom line, into your pocket, into your profit line. So that's always a good thing to have in mind, or have a healthy mindset for that. So this is the purpose of the presentation, and I hope you guys will find it useful. All right, so a little bit of about Getira. Like I mentioned, it's an acronym, stands for Get Intelligent Data Analytics. We're essentially a data company, a technology company. We have a bunch of popular services, but the one that we're pretty much famous for is doing financial and logistical auditing for FBA sellers, Amazon FBA sellers. So we like to consider ourselves as the global leader in FBA auditing and reimbursements, because not only we find the issues, our service team actually opens cases on the behalf of the sellers and help them get reimbursed from Amazon for any discrepancies that are eligible for reimbursement. We do have an award-winning dashboard technology. We won the Gold Award from the American Business Awards. Like I mentioned, we do have a dedicated team of claims specialists. A lot of them are ex-Amazon employees who used to work in the Amazon reimbursements department. So they kind of know what we're looking for, how to present issues. If issues get rejected for not a justified reason, they'll be able to reopen cases and convert rejected claims into paid claims, plus making sure we're always compliant with Amazon's terms of service. We do monitor and track our recovery rate, and we're really proud to have one of the highest recovery rates in the industry. Our recovery rate is more than 70%, which means for every 4 cases that we're going to open on your behalf to get you reimbursed, more than 3 cases will get reimbursed. So that's very important for us, the quality. And we try to make our solutions affordable. Because for this kind of specific service, for example, we don't charge a monthly subscription, no retainers, no upfront fees. Our model is based on a win-win proposition. It's pretty simple. If we're going to go in and find discrepancies and get you paid with the reimbursement, we're going to charge a 25% fee. So for example, if Amazon pays you $100, we're going to take 25% out of that as our fee. But if we didn't find anything or didn't get you anything back, you know, zero cost to connect with Gatita and have our basically our goggles looking into your issues constantly all the time. So that's a little bit about us. But before we head off to the heavy things, if you're wondering where to find us, obviously you can go to gatita.com, getidea.com, or you can visit us on Sell Essential. There's an app store. We're an authorized service provider on Amazon Sell Essential platform. That's very important to stress that out, because if there's other similar services out there, a little tip from me to you guys, try to make sure they're really on the platform that Amazon kind of approve them and you're playing on safe grounds. That's an important indicator when shopping for auditing companies in the market. So now I want to give you a case study, guys. So just so you see the impact on the bottom lines, you know, so here's a real case study of a seller that did $18 million a year, okay, on FBA, sold 300,000 units, okay, of which about 9,000 units got affected, got lost, damaged, destroyed, overcharges, a whole 9 yards. Okay, so the 9,000 units divided by the 300,000 units puts us on the higher, you know, level of the spectrum, which is almost 3%. It's actually 2.8% got affected. Gatita will help them, you know, recover 151,000. Okay, with reimbursements, which impacted the bottom line by 11%. It was very dramatic. Why? Because before the gross profit was 1.3 million, and after we got them the reimbursements of 151,000, it's, you know, it peaked by 11%. All right, so it shows you the impact and power of, you know, auditing and recoveries. That 1, 2, 3% for the bottom line pushed from the top line, from your top revenue, pushed the bottom line by 10 or 11%. So it's almost like a 10x impact when you do it correctly. Now, one thing I want to mention at this stage, there's 2 hats people can wear at this stage. One hat is you're now Amazon seller or private label seller, and you want to sell your Amazon business, right? Right. So once you want to sell your Amazon business, what happens is whoever's trying to buy is going to pay you based on your profit, a multiple. So if you made $1 million a year, they're going to give you a multiple, maybe 3, 4, 5x. So they'll pay for your business $3, 4, $5 million, right? So imagine if you're smart, you're a savvy seller, you're saying, you know what, I'm going to try to increase my bottom line as soon as possible, right? And as much as possible. And we got you $151,000 on your account. Let's say this seller, for example, we got him $151,000. That $151,000 all of a sudden becomes 3, 4, 5x. It's worth 450, 600, whatever the multiple they can get. So it's very, very powerful. The impact is really great if you do it on time, if you wear the hat of I'm about to sell. But on the other hand, if you just bought an Amazon business and you're watching this, wow, there's an opportunity for you. Imagine you can extract that $151,000, you know, from the past 18 months of activity. So your return on investment, boom, spikes up. You're expecting to make your money back within 2, 3 years. This is going to help you save a few months, maybe even a year. Okay, so it's very important to know the elements, have the awareness of what's available for you, and take action. You know, you can do it yourself. We do encourage every seller to audit their account. Do yourself as much as possible. Do it, right? But once you're done, do an outreach. Reach out to another company out there and to help you, because if anything they get you extra will be gravy. This is kind of the elements or the value that we kind of trying to project out there to the markets. So do it yourself as much as possible, then reach out. And if you need further incentive to try it out, we have a special offer for you guys, okay? What we're gonna do for you, if you go to gatita.com, you sign up and you put this promo code, which is MWEST400, okay? The first $400 that we're gonna give you in Amazon FBA reimbursements will be absolutely free. We're not gonna charge you a penny. Okay, so no matter what, you try us out, you get a taste in your mouth, and we're going to reward you with $400. You're going to have $400 extra in your pocket. If you like it, you feel it's a good value, welcome to stay. If you want to leave afterwards, that's fine as well. Once again, our mission is to empower the Amazon seller community, because if they're empowered, they're smart, they're savvy, they're going to survive for much, much longer. They're going to be very, very successful, and they're going to take us along with them. So our clients, the more they're empowered, they're smarter, they're making good money. And we help them with that, with reimbursements, but also beyond the reimbursements, we help a lot with consulting. Okay, and we do it free because we see, you know, our users as a community. Liz mentioned it also, because we have the background in selling, you know, we have the opportunity to share from our experience, because we scaled up from 0 to 20 million. So we experienced the process of 0 to 100,000, 100,000 to a million, 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 4 million, and on it goes all the way to 20 million a year. We have that experience. So when our sellers they get challenged with, you know, at the Amazon world, it can be suspensions, it can be logistics, it can be tax, stuff like that. We're able to help them free of charge. But if we can't help them ourselves, what we're going to do is we have a large and fairly large partners network. We're going to tell them where to go to trusted sources from the industry, where to go, so they can really help them with it. Because our ambition is that, you know, our sellers, our community, are working with the best. They're going to survive. They're going to make it long term, and it makes it a win-win for the, you know, everybody. It's important to remember that playing in e-commerce and playing on Amazon, you know, I believe personally that we're part of a revolution. Okay, e-commerce is still very fresh, very young. There's so much opportunity. It's like the gold rush of the new era, the new age. So, you know, we're glad to be a part of it, and I think it's doing very well for the businesses out there servicing you know, the clients, but it's also really good for the consumer, the clients, because ultimately, if the most efficient way, right, to buy products and consume is through e-commerce, which it is, it has to win. So the brick and mortar is probably going to keep shrinking. You know, the e-commerce industry is going to keep growing. You guys are an active part of it. Keep doing what you're doing. I want you guys to be motivated, focus on it. You're in the right spot. Don't even blink for a second. You're in historical times. You know, this is the gold rush of the new age. Okay, and if you need services or things that can align your game and help you, there's stuff out there. Do outreach. Don't be afraid. By being in this event right now and watching this, you're actually actively doing it. So I congratulate you for that. Keep it up. And if you need, you know, any help, you have any questions, you can reach out, you know, you can email me directly at yoni@megatita.com, or just visit us online. There's a contact us page, there's a chat. You know, we usually are very friendly. And Liz, I hope I made it right on time. I didn't swallow the whole time.
No, and you were great. I mean, I love the part at the end because I'm similarly just passionate about this industry, and I think it's unlike anything in the whole world. So I teared up a little while you were talking because I got it all emotional. So thanks for that. Awesome. So you can see Getida in the App Store. So if you log into your Seller Central account, you can access the App Store. Us non-sellers, all the muggles out there can't see the App Store, but Amazon sellers can see the App Store. And those are companies that Amazon is aware of, that are likely on the developer council or have some other relationship with Amazon, and Amazon in essence vets their service and allows them to collect reviews in the App Store. So it's an honor to be in there, and it's a
high commitment. It's a high level of commitment
and transparency.
Yeah, so and not just for reimbursement, probably any service that you're trying for Amazon, and you're going to give them your API, your credentials. I guess a good benchmark to say, go to the App Store. That's a good place to start.
If a company is in the App Store, you can be sure that that's not going to get, as long as you use the service correctly, it's not going to get you in trouble just for using it. So unless, you know, and if they get kicked out of the App Store, then there's a reason why, and you should probably not use that service.
And you'll know, you'll get a notice probably also. Yeah. Amazon will give you the notice, by the way.
So, Yoni, you're awesome. That was really, really good. And I'm going to contact you later because I think that we should do some co-marketing. Anyway, so we've got I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to stop unless anybody has any more questions. So last call for questions on reimbursements, lost money.
Anything you want, even philosophical. Yeah, philosophical even.
Why is the sky blue?
Yeah, we can go biblical.
Across the road.
There we go. How to sign up for your service. How to sign up for your service. Go to getila.com, top right, sign up. Pretty straightforward, I would say.
And use that coupon code, and their first $400 will be free. Yay. All right, you were a hit, my friend.
Thank you so much, Liz. Everybody, good luck. Stay safe, stay healthy. All the best. Hopefully see you guys soon, and again, hopefully next year by Minneapolis. I'm really looking forward.
Absolutely. It's much more fun to be in Minneapolis than it is to eat.
Never been, so I'm really looking forward.
Oh, it's such a cool city. And they have black squirrels. And
nice.
There's a sculpture park with wind chimes in a tree. And I'm a fan.
The closest I got, I think, was Chicago. That's it.
That's
You know,
not. That's
I'm
not
here in New
close enough.
Jersey. Yeah, or maybe Vegas. I don't know. But I used to live in Detroit. That's maybe permanently. That's as close as I got living to Minnesota. Anyways, I won't take up all the time. Take care, everybody. Let's keep the show running.
Thank you so much. So, we have my friend Emma coming up next, and I'm super excited about that because I haven't seen her in so long. And there she is. And I also noticed that Anna's here. I just wanted to give a shout out to Anna and say hi. I wish that I could hug you. If you have not met Emma Shermer-Tamir, she is one of the most delightful humans I have ever met in this industry or out of this industry. She is a brilliant copywriter. She is a wonderful strategist. She and her husband, Erez, run this wonderful company, Marketing by Emma. They employ a tremendously great staff of people, but I'm not going to say much more. If you want your listings to be just as good as they possibly can, then this is your girl. So Emma, I'm going to make you the featured video, and I never stopped recording, so let's just roll. But hey, honey.
Hi, Liz. Thank you for that incredibly kind introduction. I'm really happy to be back here again this year. Wish we were in Minneapolis, but I'm glad that all of you worked hard to do the next best thing, which was to take this virtual. So I guess without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen and get into things. And I hope that it's not disturbing. I have a little clock here because I've noticed that lately I've been getting a little rambly and I can't see the time when I'm presenting. So I'm just gonna try to do a better job of being aware of what time it is. So if at any point, also I should mention, I can't see the questions or comments right now, but I'm happy to be interrupted if you'd like me to slow down, explain something in more detail, or just even take this in a totally different direction. I really want this presentation to be as valuable as possible for all of you guys. So don't be shy about chiming in. So today I'm going to be talking about how to unlock the urge to buy and how to create conversion spiking Amazon listings. And while I'm talking about Amazon listings, a lot of these concepts that we're going to be discussing are things that you can really utilize in all of your communication, but some of them will even help you make better decisions for your company, perhaps even help align your team a little bit better. So there are all sorts of residual, unexpected things that you can achieve and make better for yourself by doing some of the things that I will be talking about. So as Liz mentioned, my husband Erez and I co-founded Marketing by Emma together in 2016. And since then, we've worked with over 700 businesses from all over the world with their e-commerce copywriting needs. So Amazon listing optimization, website copy, and all of that good stuff. Now, before we get into some of the larger concepts that I wanted to discuss with you today, I want to take a moment to go over what I really consider to be the fundamental building blocks, which is if you're not doing these things, then some of these other things that we're going to discuss may not be as helpful to you. So these are just some really important things to keep in mind, because I don't want to talk about what we're going to be talking about and you think that this stuff isn't important, or that or forget to do it, or whatever the case may be. So first and foremost, when you're selling on Amazon, you need a thoughtful, well-researched keyword strategy. If you're assuming that you're just going to naturally use the keywords that you need to use, that's likely not going to be the case. But alternatively, if you do your keyword research and stop at the highest volume search terms and call it a day, then you're probably not going to get as much traction or value out of your listing as you could if you dug a little deeper to really look for some of those, what we like to call high opportunity keywords, that are a blending of still pretty good search volume, but are far less competitive and are also very relevant to your product in particular. So the highest volume keywords a lot of times are going to be very general, and they may not be targeting the specific customer that would be most excited by your product. So even something as simple as phone case if you're selling a phone case for a particular model of phone and you're going after phone case, then you're going to be encountering a lot of people that have other types of devices that won't have any use for your phone case. Whereas if you're selling phone cases for iPhone 7 Plus, I don't even know if they still sell those anymore or not, but let's say they do, then that's going to make sure that by using that keyword and keywords similar to that, you're going to be only getting in front of the people that are a good fit for your product. Next up is you want to make sure that everything is very clear, focused, and is set up so that people can find the information that they need to find as quickly as possible. A lot of times, if you're thinking about your own purchasing habits, you'll realize that oftentimes you have some specific buying criteria that you need to know in order to dig a little bit deeper and figure out whether that product is what you're looking for. So in the case of a phone case, maybe I want to make sure that my phone case is compatible with the wireless charging. And some phone cases and wireless chargers aren't compatible. So I don't want that hassle of needing to take off my case every time I need to charge my phone, or having to plug it in because I really like that feature of wireless charging. And so you want to make sure that if that's a really big selling point of your phone, that you're putting that front and center. And so really thinking about what are those must knows for your product so that people can know exactly where to go to find that information, and they're not going to have to skim through a bunch of copy or not even find that information at all. And then that really ties into my next point, which is making sure that every word counts. So you might have a sentence and it sounds really lovely, but this isn't the place for just admiring your verbal skills. If a word isn't serving a function, then it shouldn't be on the page. So that function could be that it's an important keyword that you want to make sure that you're indexing for. It could be that it's an important feature that somebody must know, or it's really pushing that sale forward in some way, whether it's communicating a key benefit of your product, whether it's helping to build that excitement, hone in on a particular problem that you're solving, all of those sorts of things. Making sure that whatever you're doing, you're making your benefits front and center. And also a point that while it's lower in the list, this is not hierarchical at all, but building trust is so necessary when it comes to selling anywhere online, because particularly if you're not a well-known brand, you are needing to ensure that your customers know that you're reliable, that you're trustworthy, and that you're selling what it is that you're saying that you sell. There are many stories that have come out about counterfeit goods that aren't meeting the proper safety certifications, and all of those sorts of things. And so when you might say, oh, okay, well, does having the best pictures really matter? Or does making sure that it's written perfectly really matter because nobody reads? All of those little details are the difference between going into a job interview looking like you just rolled out of bed, or going in looking really professional and wanting to put your best foot forward. So you have a very small amount of space to build that trust. And so you need to make sure that whatever you're putting out there is professional, it has that attention to detail, and is really going to present your brand in the best light possible. So impeccable grammar and spelling. Also really making sure that you are very customer centric with everything that you're doing. So you may have spent months or years even developing a product, and you might be so excited about all of these special features, and that's fantastic. But you need to make sure that you are not putting all of this focus on yourself, because we all care about ourselves the most. And so if you can really take that idea to heart and think about how you can frame everything from the perspective of your customer and help them to understand what the experience of using your product is going to be like, and what problems that they have that you're solving for them, you're going to be able to get them much more excited than you would if you're just kind of bragging about all of your innovative design and high quality materials, etc. And then lastly, elevating with imagery. And what I mean by this is that you have very limited space with your Amazon real estate to push a sale forward. And if you make the most of your images, they can actually serve as really incredible sales tools. So you can use them for everything from clarifying those points that can be difficult to convey in just words. You can use them to communicate those same benefits that you're talking about in your bullets and your description, or perhaps even those key details that somebody definitely wants to know. And then when you're using text and imagery together, you're able to ensure that you're maintaining control of the message, and that no matter who looks at your photos, everybody is getting that same exact message. So I'm not looking at the photo and thinking one thing, but somebody else is looking at it and getting a completely different message. So I know that was a lot and pretty quick, but those are sort of the foundational things that we're going to now build on with some of these other concepts and examples I'm going to be showing you. And so all of those things they were able to achieve by getting very curious about who their customers are, by being very clear about who they are, so they're not just a way for people to cool off in the summer, but it's a way to cool off that's safe even for young children, and that will also provide those opportunities for learning. And so they're very clear about all of those things, and that's what has allowed them to be so successful and to be continuing to enjoy so much success. So I know it can be a little bit overwhelming to know what questions to ask and where to start. I put together a worksheet that you can download by going to, I believe it's marketingbyemma.com/Midwest. I needed to move my face to see what the link was. Or if you have your phone next to you, you can take out your phone, open your camera, and hold it up to that QR code, and it should take you right to that page. And don't look at that as the end all be all for any and all questions to ask. I really want you to treat this worksheet as a jumping off point for a way to really get your curiosity going and thinking about how to get more information and knowledge about your customers, your brand, your competitors, so that you can make some really meaningful, bold choices to develop those long-term customer relationships. So that was my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Super, Emma. Thank you so much. I love that you show real examples. There are so many people that talk about listings and don't show real examples. And I'm like, show me what you mean. That's really good. Does anybody have any questions? We did have some comments in the chat. Black Rifle is in Salt Lake City, which is fun. Voltaire said about ice cream that it's exquisite. It's a shame it's legal, but Ron said that the same is true for coffee. And Yoni said hi to you and Erez.
Yoni is a good guy.
He is a good guy. So if nobody has questions or they don't want to speak up today, okay, here we go, Van. Let's say I have a brand new private label product. Is there a time frame as to when I will see sales?
Well, I mean, that's such a vague question. If you're looking for these sort of like X plus Y always equals Z sort of answers with Amazon, then you're going to quickly run into a lot of frustrations. There are so many factors to consider. For example, let's say that you're launching a product that doesn't really have any direct competitors. It's it's an innovative product that you have a patent for, and you feel like Amazon would be a great place to sell it. Well, that's going to create an interesting challenge for you, because you're going to have to potentially get very creative with the keywords you're using, because it's maybe not even something that people would know that exists. And so not only with your keyword strategy will you have to be creative, but you may also need to get more aggressive with some of your external marketing to make sure that you're really bringing awareness to the fact that a new product like this exists. Then there are other people that are choosing their products purely based on keyword research, and they're using that to really drive the decisions about the products they're launching. And so they know already that there's a demand built in and it's not a particularly competitive niche. And so for them, it may be a pretty quick time before they're starting to generate sales. Or you could be entering a very competitive space, but you know that you have something really special. And so in that case, you might have to spend a lot of money in PPC and other types of techniques to really build that momentum and do that for quite a while until you're able to be profitable. So this idea of how long should it take you to see sales is dependent on so many different factors, from the competitive space then you're in, to what your product is, to the types of PPC and marketing that you're going to need to do. So I would just be very clear about when you're launching a product, where you fit into all of those different parameters, and being clear about what to expect, because I've worked with people and they really didn't understand how competitive that a particular space was, and they didn't have the budget for the PPC to make sure that they were generating the type of traffic that they needed to be generating. And so they had to make some difficult decisions as a result of that. So you just want to be mindful of those details when you're selling. And I hope that at least sort of answered your question. I know it didn't give you a finite number.
All right, what's going on, folks? My name is Ryan Nichols. I'm the owner and president here with Wholesale Universe out of Longview, Texas. And Travis asked me to get on here today and speak with you. I'm very excited to do so. Didn't have a lot of time to plan, but look, I'm always going to put on a lot of fireworks for you. And so I've got some things written down. If you don't mind me holding a booklet every once in a while and looking down about what I want to say, then I'm going to be able to give you a lot of content and value here today. So you're probably going to hear my team in the back. That's my sales team, Kevin and Don. I've also got a numerous amount of people in the back over here working as well, right next to this room. So if it gets loud, just let me know in the comments. I can't tell them to be quiet because they'll tell me to be quiet right back. They're over there working just like I am right now, but I will speak louder if I have to. All right. So once again, my name is Ryan Nichols. I'm the owner and president here with Wholesale Universe. We have a huge company. And what we do is we buy pallet loads and truckloads directly from big box retailers like Macy's, Dillard's, Bloomingdale's, places like that. We bring these products in, we quality control check them, and what's perfect goes out to Amazon for ourselves or our clients. And what's not perfect, we sell it on Poshmark, Mercari, or we sell it right over here inside of our retail store. And as of July 27th, we'll be in business for 5 years. So we've been in business since July 27, 2015. And we've made probably close to $7 million in sales now, $8 million possibly. I know the last time that I looked at it was $6 million. That was sometime last year. This year, we've tremendously grown more than that. So I would say roughly $7, possibly $8 million in sales. And we have a couple thousand clients that we help do that as well. So we'll talk about that at the end. I'm going to give you a special offer. So if you stay with me till the end of this, I'll answer all your questions and I'll make sure that I give you a special offer for some training and some products here within our company as well, designer brand name products. So other stuff about us, we started out of a 3rd-story 2-bedroom apartment back July 27, 2015. Myself and Bonnie, my wife inside of here, she's here at the company as well. We started out of a 3rd-story 2-bedroom apartment. Now, with us starting out of that 3rd-story 2-bedroom apartment, we had no products and we had no money, okay? And so we had to start through adversity. And so kind of the same thing that we went through back in 2015, 5 years ago, I know many of you are probably going through right now, okay? Because let's face it, we're going through some adversity right now. We weren't going through adversity back in 2015, okay? We're going through it right now. Not just us, but you. And I want to show you, just like we have, how to grow through this. Because make no mistake, I'm not in business to go backwards. Okay, I'm not in business to go out of business. If I go out of business, I want it to be things that are totally out of my control. Even further so is I want to take things that are totally out of my control at some point and make them my control in business. So that way things can't happen to me. I can be predictive. All right, now, some of this adversity that we're going through right now, let's talk about that. Okay, one, uncertainty. Okay, there's a lot of people that are uncertain even about not about what next year holds. Like, let's just not even talk about next year. Let's talk about this year. What does Q4 hold as Amazon sellers for us on Amazon? As you can see, many of you are in the platform, and just the back end office is changing. You think that right now, at least I would think that, hey, you wouldn't change the back end office right now, you know, while we're going through this much adversity. But guess what, folks? Life goes on. People don't deal with the same adversity that maybe you're dealing with. Maybe you're dealing with it a lot better than somebody else, okay? But adversity is going to happen, and companies and businesses are going to keep going regardless, so you can't slow down for that. So there's a lot of uncertainty, okay? There's a lot of people that are losing their jobs right now. So if you're somebody that maybe you do Amazon on the side, or maybe you do e-commerce, you have a retail store, you're doing Poshmark, whatever it may be. Maybe you're doing that on the side, okay? And if you're doing that on the side, but you're like, hey, I'm starting to make the quarter of the amount of money that I make, you know, at my job, or I make half, or I make three times, or hey, I just spoke with the gentleman yesterday. He's actually going to be joining our sales team. His name is John, okay? John doesn't know anything about e-commerce, but he does know this. Hey, I worked in the oil field for 16 years. My pay is doing this while I'm watching e-commerce, and people that are doing that, their pay is going up. Our company, our sales are increasing right now. Okay, my sales guys are over here crushing it. People are wanting to get involved with e-commerce right now. So there's uncertainty, but there's people losing their jobs. In them losing their jobs, or them understanding, hey, I may get laid off soon. That company's PPP or EIDL might go away here soon. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start making a plan. Well, now that we have the internet, people are not, you know, I'm not saying they used to be dumb, but they're not as dumb or ignorant to things as they used to be. There's no excuse for it now. And so you've got a lot of people that are online, and they're searching for things to do, and they're heading towards the e-commerce route, which just gives it more fire, and people are going towards it, whether they're sellers or buyers. We're seeing a massive increase in sales right now. I was just studying Macy's because I buy from Macy's, so I studied them as well. And though their shares have dropped, they were already planning to do that. So that's not scared me as much as I'm happy to see that their e-commerce sales since COVID started have gone up 46%. Now, that was a company that was on a downward slope, and still technically is on a downward slope, which I'm going to talk about that here in the next couple of minutes, about with the uncertainty and overcoming some of these life objections that life throws at us. But even with them going down at a downward slope, they are still going across and looking to go up. It could be 2021, 2022. But what I tell you is this: they found what works. And I've been saying it for years, and so have a lot of you. E-commerce, okay? A 46% increase in sales going through Macy's alone. And that's just not the only company that's doing it. Because the companies that want to stick around right now and that want to keep going, they have to turn to e-commerce. You have no choice, okay? There are some people that are not going to. I just dealt with it a few minutes ago when Travis told me that. I'll give you another story, another example. When Travis told me, hey, I had somebody drop, I need you to fill in for this spot right here. I said, okay, not a problem. I looked down and I realized I didn't have a microphone. Okay, my microphone cord had broken. So what did I have to do? I had to go to Best Buy. When I got over to Best Buy, I couldn't get inside. Why could I not get inside? Because I didn't have a mask. And Best Buy requires that you have a mask. So I didn't have a mask in my truck. So what did I do? I couldn't go inside and shop. I had to leave. So I don't have a microphone. I'm having to use my system microphone today. But guess what? I just had my assistant order as soon as I came through the door off of Amazon. A microphone, okay, and a microphone cord to go along with it. Okay, so it's not just of the fact that are people going to start going towards e-commerce. Me before now, even today with what's going on, I would rather go to the store and shop, but I can't. So I'm forced to buy online. Well, when I start finding out really the ease of access of buying online, because me, yes, personally, I would rather buy, go into the store and touch it, feel it, see it, smell it, hear it. Like I actually want to go put my hands on it. Not everybody's like that. My wife, she'll buy online all day and bring it in. I'm not the same. Okay, so right now what you have is you have people that are getting trained. Your new customers, me, I'm getting trained to buy online. What we do here, I don't focus on anything else but what's going on inside of here, and that's helped my business grow, and I would recommend that you do the same thing. And if at any time there's something that we can do here to help you at Wholesale University, reach out and let us know. Travis and his people are great. I'm glad that they still put. Hey, been following him for a long time too. Love the Midwest Ecom conference up there. I wish they could have had it up there. I told Travis we were going to come up, but that wasn't able to happen. So we're doing it online. So I appreciate you showing up. Okay, I appreciate you being on here. Make sure you make it to the one next year, and I hope we get to do it in person. So Travis, thank you for having Bonnie and myself. We appreciate everything that you do as well. And if there's anything that Bonnie and I can do to help you, let us know.
Yay, Ryan and Bonnie. Bonnie, I'm so glad you jumped on because I told everybody you were lovely and then they got to see it in person.
The specifics of it is, yes, we have a ton of bookkeeping and accounting clients, but we specialize in, and the vast majority of our clients are e-commerce sellers. So people selling on Amazon, whether it's private label or wholesale, like what Ryan was just talking about, or even some retail arbitrage people. If you're selling online, Amazon or Shopify or Walmart or a combination of all those and any of the other platforms, and or even selling your own direct wholesale sales, those are the kind of clients we have. And yes, everybody from just getting started, if you're just sending your first shipment into Amazon, up to our biggest client is over $100 million in annual revenue. So we've got a huge range of online sellers that we work with for the bookkeeping side and the tax side. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is generally some of the things that we see clients come to us with that they may be doing wrong or maybe overlooking or maybe not understanding with their bookkeeping or accounting as it relates to their online business. And so I want to bring these things up, mistakes that we see people making, and so that you can see, kind of look in your own business and see if you're making any of these mistakes, and then, you know, how to resolve them, how to think about them, how to fix them. If you'd love our help, great. If you've already got someone you're working with, then, you know, definitely bring it to their attention if you see any of these issues and think they may apply to you. To Ryan's point too, I think, you know, trying not to do everything yourself is a good plan. At a certain point, it's good to hand off some of the things that you're doing and get help with them from an outsourced provider, a service provider who's a specialist in this, so you can focus on the things that directly help you grow your business and that you can easily outsource. Bookkeeping and accounting is one where it definitely can be handed off at the point where you feel like you're ready to. It saves you time. You probably are getting better results having a professional do it than having done it yourself, or trying to have a, you know, some poor VA do it that isn't really experienced in what the right way to do it is. And so that's what we recommend, exactly in line with what Ryan said, to really focus your time on growing the business and hand off the things that you can hand off. So I put some slides together. I'm going to set up a screen share here to run through them, and then we can talk about this. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to go right to the from the beginning here. And so this is the topic: 5 simple Amazon seller accounting mistakes costing you thousands or up to hundreds of thousands or more, depending on the size of your business and what you've got going on. So just again, a quick recap on me. We've got 500 plus Amazon accounting clients. I've got this book on Amazon about Amazon seller bookkeeping. We also do a lot of work with people who are selling their businesses, which is going to relate to the first topic I'm going to hit here. Been doing this a long time, have an MBA. None of that stuff is really as important as just sort of the hands-on day-to-day, being neck deep in this stuff every day. That's where the real experience and practice comes from, is just doing it day in and day out with all different kinds of online sellers. So here's the 5 mistakes. So first is destroying your enterprise value, or really not destroying it, probably is dramatic, but cutting it down significantly. 2 is profit killing SKUs. 3 is inventory turnover, kind of misunderstanding how that is affecting your business. 4 is the small changes you can make that have the big impacts. And 5 is paying the sole prop or LLC penalty. If you're set up as a sole prop or a single member LLC, you definitely may be paying a lot more in taxes than you need to. So let me stop sharing the screen here, and I'm happy to answer or address any questions anybody might have. This is usually a topic that there's a lot of questions on, and I know I went through real fast, so I did so because I know there's a recording. Anybody who's got questions about anything I went over can go back and listen to it a little bit slower. But I wanted to make sure we crank through all the info. And also I find if I talk faster, people fall asleep less, because I know accounting is not always everybody's most exciting topic. So here I'm stop the screen share and happy to answer questions.
It's so important though. We do have a question. At what sales level would it benefit a seller to become an S Corp?
So it's less about sales than it really is about profits. For most, and it varies somewhat by state too. Different states have slightly different rules. Like New York is pretty harsh on S corps. The state doesn't give you the same tax breaks as the feds. But generally, what we recommend to people is if you're at even 25,000 in profits, let's have the conversation. And there, from there, the more you go up, the more likely it is that you're going to see significant savings. If you're less than $25,000 in profits, the additional cost of doing the extra S corp tax return and so on may offset the savings that you get. But for sure, at 25,000 and up, let's have the conversation. If you're at 50,000 in profits or more, I can almost guarantee you're going to save money, except in very few, special situations that we're happy to kind of delve into. Does it or doesn't apply to your situation? My advice is just, get in contact with us. Let's discuss your specific situation, and we can give you a specific answer. It's a little hard to give blanket advice for this kind of stuff. Generally speaking, you're going to save. Almost all of our clients are set up as S corps once they get past the initial startup stage. But I like to make sure that we've given each client a very specific review before we go into what will and won't be best for them.
Super. It's so great that you have so much understanding of e-commerce and the Amazon seller's journey and the things that they need to think about to run their business.
Thank you very much, Liz. And thank you very much, Travis and Becky. Hi everyone. My name is Richard. I live in Portland. I have a happy family. We have a very happy team working for Amazon sellers. Let me share my deck here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Let me put this one smaller a little bit. All right. Let me introduce myself. My name is Richard. I'm a well-trained engineer. I'm also an Amazon seller. I'm the first generation immigrant, came to the US, and I lead this company, Selco. So we are an AI-powered company to data analytics to help e-commerce sellers. So for right now, it's just Amazon, but we are going to move to horizontal marketplaces. So today I'm going to share a little bit with you my personal experience, why I jumped to Amazon, why we jumped into making the tools for Amazon sellers. So for sure, by the end of this presentation, that I really hope that you guys can pick up some of this automation strategy that I have had to build my Amazon business. And as well as, building business is not easy. 3 years ago, when I started selling wholesale, it was like printing money. Today, the game is a little bit different. So this is game number, meaning but still the number is still a lot out there. As far as I know, in US, we have probably 500,000 wholesalers. I mean, suppliers probably, and every wholesalers, they have a lot of product choices. So yeah, one thing that I have learned building my wholesale business, I wasted some money because I made a bad product decision. So let me share what is that in a couple of seconds. Before we go too far, let me introduce myself. So my name is Richard again. We are some Silicon Valley dudes. We love data. We are passionate about data. And right now we have 2 offices here in Portland and in San Francisco before the pandemic. And then after pandemic, we had to move everybody in San Francisco up here to Oregon. But we hope to come back to Silicon Valley after this. And yeah, and we want to provide a better experience on doing e-commerce catalog tracking for sellers. So let's go quickly into the overall strategy of doing wholesale. There are 3 fundamental things in doing wholesale. First is the scouting, second is the sourcing, and the third one is the selling, meaning we purchase and then we sell it on Amazon, on any e-commerce platform. So in here, I believe scouting is difficult, sourcing is not easier, but selling it, it's or buying it and then selling it is by far is the most difficult, because that's the key. if we buy the wrong product, I mean, we lose money. We have a good offer for everyone. If you are registering and you're a new member, we can offer you 50% off. Just go to this list. I will copy this into the Zoom right now. Let me see. I will copy this into the Zoom chat box after this, and you guys have until Sunday to register, and we'll give you 50% off. I think that's all. It's time for Q&A. So before we stop this, we in Salgo, we sure that we do not just want to give a man a fish. That if we just give a man a fish, this fish is going to be gone in one day. If we teach you guys how to fish, then you can fish for a lifetime. You can sit on your boat having a beer and, you know, just keep fishing for a lifetime. Thank you very much. It's time for Q&A. Go ahead.
Wow, Richard, that was great. And now I want to be an Amazon seller. So, and then I can have my retirement goal of being a sea captain, because that's my retirement job, captain. So it all just really goes together.
Excited to be here. I'm broadcasting this morning from, is it broadcast the right word? But I'm actually in California visiting some family this weekend. So I'm excited to be able to join remotely. I'm going to be talking about sponsor brands and storefront on Amazon specifically. I won't, let's see, there we go. First, just a quick introduction. Liz introduced me briefly. I'll just add on to my bio just a little bit. I've been working with Amazon sellers since 2011. My background is in marketing, product development, and brand management. And I specialize in Amazon PPC and SEO. I've been focusing on that for the last several years. And Agility, which is the company I founded in 2015, that was our primary service that we offered. We were recently acquired by Buy Box Experts, which is one of the largest Amazon full service agencies in the industry. And I lead the team of the brand growth strategists or account managers that manage our client accounts. So it's been a really exciting and fun transition, and we're doing some great things at Buy Box. So jumping into Amazon storefront and sponsored brand ads, I want to preface this a little bit with kind of a little bit of background on Amazon. You know, as Amazon, of course, when it first opened up its marketplace, and over most of the years that marketplace has been available, it's been almost brand agnostic, right? And that's how the private label industry really got started on there. Is it didn't really matter what your brand was, as long as you were selling a widget that somebody wanted and you were doing the right SEO and PPC. You could have a lot of success. In the last couple of years, Amazon has really pivoted towards brands and started developing a lot more tools and that will allow brands to really tell their brand story and really shine as a brand and allow that customer to get to know the product as a brand and not just a widget. And that's one of the developments I've been most excited about this last year, is this opportunity, because I work primarily with brands, and this opportunity to really let them be a brand on Amazon. And that's where storefront and sponsored brand ads come in. That's one of the main tools Amazon has launched to allow brands to do this, to tell their story. And if you're not familiar with storefront, I'll go into a little bit further, but it's basically it's like a mini website for your brand on Amazon. So it's kind of outside the regular search results. I'll show you in a minute how we get into there. But it's a fantastic way for you to create kind of a mini website on Amazon where a number of things can happen, which brings us to this slide. So not only are we telling our brand story, and have the opportunity to create that brand awareness and that loyalty and again, becoming more than a widget on Amazon. But then it's that great opportunity to really showcase your catalog. Showcase that catalog so you can be cross-selling and upselling, especially if you got more than a handful of SKUs. If you want people to be to continue to come back and visit, or if you want them to, if you are trying to increase your average order value, this is a place to do it, where you can pull a customer in, have them start shopping your mini website, so to speak. And the numbers speak for themselves. When we use storefront instead of other landing pages, or just normally on Amazon, when you run an ad, historically it's gone just straight to a product page. And so there's an ad shows up in search results, you click on it, it goes to a single product page. They may or may not buy, or they go back to search. When we send that traffic to Storefront instead of the product page or even a product list page, which looks kind of like search results, we're seeing conversion rate increase by as much as 22%. And we're seeing ROAS on advertising. It's a range kind of depending on how aggressive or how bottom of funnel we're marketing, but that ROAS can increase anywhere between 20 and 40%. So we're seeing great results on the Storefront and on this ability to, again, be a brand on Amazon and not just a widget. And I'll say these numbers, you only see these numbers if you've designed your storefront within best practices. And that's what I want to talk about today is what are best practices for storefront? How can we improve this experience and make sure we're leveraging and getting the most out of the storefront that we're building on Amazon? So I'd love to open up to any questions if anyone has any.
Liz, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Regarding your question on sponsored brands and storefront, I see some of the examples that you've given, which is really great, and it's good visualization. But regarding sponsored ads, do you have any experience with sponsored ads going onto like phone apps? For example, let's say I like to play like little games on my phone, and every time I go up a level, a sponsored ad shows up. I've got to watch it.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience from those types of advertising?
Yeah.
Getting the traffic outside of Amazon and onto your Amazon listing. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does. So yeah, there is a specific platform that does that. It's called Amazon DSP, which is demand side platform. And that is the primary tool that brands will use to do exactly what you're talking about. They can do inline ads, which is what you were talking about with your games. So they can do inline video ads, or they can do all sorts of other ad types across the internet. And the beauty about the DSP is not unique to Amazon. There's all sorts of DSP platforms that do this type of programmatic advertising that shows up exactly in places like what you're talking about. So DSP is not a new concept, but the Amazon DSP platform specifically, it does everything that any DSP platform will do. And it uses Amazon data to do it. And so I can actually target people who looked at my product, but then left Amazon without purchasing. I can now go, what I like to say, chase them around the internet with my ad and then try to convince them to come back. I can even target competitor products and chase them around the internet and try to bring them to my ad instead. Or I can go even higher in the funnel. I can target anyone who shopped on Amazon for wireless headphones in general and go chase them around the internet. And those are just, there's lots of different things you can do. That's a very narrow snippet of what Amazon DSP will do. But yeah, if you're interested in running that type of advertising, you'll want to look into a DSP platform, and I'd highly recommend Amazon's DSP platform. You can only run Amazon DSP either through Amazon themselves, they manage it, which I don't entirely recommend, or you can hire an agency like ours or many others that have agency access and can run those advertisements.
What's your experience and knowledge of running with the Amazon DSP? Is it a pretty effective tool, or is it kind of a waste of money?
It can be both, to be quite frank. I've seen it be a royal waste of money when managed incorrectly, when there's not a solid strategy, when you don't know what you're measuring and you haven't aligned your targeting to what you're measuring and what your goals are. And so you do need to, whoever does run it for you, that's why I don't necessarily recommend you have Amazon run it for you, because as anyone knows who's ever had Amazon step in and try to manage some of their ads, Amazon, their only goal is to spend your money. They don't really watch any other metrics. But if you get an agency that will align to your goals and sit down with you and say, okay, what are you trying to do? Who's your audience? What goals? What's important to you? Are we doing top of funnel? Are we doing bottom of funnel? And they can come up with a strategy that is very tightly targeted, very in line with your goals and metrics. Then we've seen it just knock it out of the park. I've seen ROAS, anywhere from $5 to $15 in some cases. So.
Okay. I think that answers my question.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you for that introduction. I am Kat Simpson. I did start in 1997 on the platform of eBay, and the first type of things I sold were Beanie Babies, if anybody remembers those. So today my topic is expanding your income streams by using travel as an income stream. So we just came off a really technical lesson, and my mind was going crazy and writing notes. So we're not going to do that. Okay. I'm a little more laid back and we're just going to talk and chat. I do have a PowerPoint to go over with you, but what I wanted you to think about is I can't give you the travel deals that the credit card guy gave you. Okay. This is different. This business allows you to actually own your own home-based travel agency. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe you're not looking for another business. That's okay. The way this business works is you can run it your way. It's your business. A lot of the agents on our team use the agency as just their family agency. That means they book travel for themselves and their family. They get a wonderful list of agent benefits, discounts, all kinds of things. Others use it as a full-fledged agency, another income stream, and they sell up to $1 million in travel, some of them a little over that. So it is an income stream, but it can be used as you want it to be. So now I'm going to try to share my screen and see if it will let me do that. Hey, it's working. We're going to go straight to my PowerPoint, and y'all let me know if you can see it okay now. All good?
I see it.
Okay, great. So this opportunity that I'm talking to you about today is actually two different companies, okay? You can choose to participate with one company for that income stream, or you can participate with both companies for all of the income streams possible. First company I want to talk about is PlanNet Marketing. PlanNet is a network marketing company, and I'll tell you more about that later. The idea behind these two companies is something that I have been teaching to people that follow me for a long, long time. The idea of designing your ideal life, not just sitting back and letting things happen to you. Like, you know, oh, I wonder what I'll do next, and this is the new trend, I'll follow that. Designing your life means taking control. It means not feeling like you're in a rowboat that's just kind of tossed around the river and goes wherever the river sends it. The idea of designing your life is talking about you being the master of a sailboat. You're in control of the sail and you're in control of the rudder, and you decide where you want to go. So these businesses together or separately offer you the opportunity to design the ideal life that you want. This business works into building a strong network. Everybody that's here at Midwest Ecom understands that a network is vital. You may be running your own business, but having that network of support people working in your business and having that network of other entrepreneurs supporting you is vital to the growth and stability of your business. These companies also work on forming a network around you in this business. This is an e-commerce business. I mean, that's where everybody's headed, right? And this is an e-commerce conference. So let's talk about travel and e-commerce and how that works. How does network marketing work? I love the network marketing business opportunity. I know you've heard pyramid scheme, you've heard it's this, it's that. That's because there are some people that are out there that are scammers. And I don't want you to think I'm one of them because you know me better than that. Network marketing is a legit opportunity if you are in the right place with the right company and the right people. And this is it. So there's all different kinds of income. There's commission income. We're all familiar with that. You buy low, sell high, you make a profit, right? Then there's leveraged income, where you leverage the work of a team. You're all working together and you're earning together. And then there's residual income, which Chris Green was really good talking about, residual and passive income. And that's usually the words used for multi-level marketing or network marketing, because that is the focus. Remember what Chris said? Front load the work. That's the key. He's right. Don't tell him I said that. His ego's big enough. Okay. But Chris Green was right. You front load the work and then you can reap the rewards. There are really three ways to earn residual income. One way is to be a famous musician or a famous author or a famous actor, because they get what's called residuals. Every time you buy one of their books, Chris Green, every time you listen to one of their songs, Michael Jackson, yes, his estate is still earning money, even though he's not here. Or you can sell insurance. All of those different ways, or you can do real estate. I forgot real estate. You can buy real estate that's rented out. Although in my opinion, that's not really passive because you still got to kind of be involved in there. But those are the three main ways to earn residual income. Network marketing combines a lot of that into one opportunity. You cannot grow in this company unless you help other people grow. I love that because that's what I like to do, is help other people. The second thing is you are going to front load the work. This is so far from a get rich quick scheme, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, it is work. It is a lot of work. But if you're willing to treat it like a profession and not just some little thing I got into or some little side thing, if you're willing to work it and be a professional about it and do it the right way and not spammy, it will work if you work it. I came here today because I come from e-com. This is my people, my community. And I found this amazing way to be able to travel a lot more than I ever traveled before for a lot less money than I ever spent before. And I want to offer that opportunity to my friends. So if you're interested, reach out. Let's talk.
We have been through a lot together. So Rob, if you would, take over and run through this with us. Might have to unmute yourself.
I got it. I was muted. Hang on just a second. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yes, we got it.
Before I start into this, and Kathy, I want to thank you because you kind of led me to believe, okay, I can just run through the regular presentation, and you kind of touched on some things that can help me shorten our presentation to make up time. I know everybody kind of runs over. First, I'm gonna go over a little bit about my background and how I got started in the CBD business, and I'll jump into this. I literally came out of the Marine Corps, went into the insurance business where I met Greg still in the insurance business 25 years later. And on a recent trip to Colorado, curiosity, wife and I stopped, gonna go into one of the marijuana stores just to see what it's all about. So here we go in and we go in the bottom part, and it's like a museum. It's like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so the guy kind of gives us a tour, and the bottom is all CBD products. I'm like, wait, what the heck is CBD? So, and he really goes through the whole thing and just kind of, from one, he goes, well, it just helps everything. He said, you know, this, and he was naming off stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? And he said, well, it's made from the hemp plant. I'm like, now I know where we're coming from. If you haven't heard about hemp, hemp makes everything. I can't believe we're not using it for more. I mean, you know, they're talking about the straws. We'll make straws out of hemp. It's biodegradable. You know, clothes, everything, and it's strong. You can make houses out of freaking hemp. So I'm going through this, and as I'm going through there, my entrepreneur mind is going, there's got to be money to this. But it also, in the whole thing, there is, from seed to finished product, all this equipment there, and he walks me through it. And I'm like, well, okay, well, maybe I want to get into this. How much is it going to cost me? Well, you can get into it for maybe $200,000. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm calculating. $200,000, a whole bunch of time and expense and stuff marketing. So before I make a dime in it, I'm in $500,000. I'm like, okay, well, let me think about this more. It's got to be a better way. So I literally kind of put this in the back of my mind, finish the trip, get back, and my stepson is very highly ADHD. So seeing a doctor, and she's like, I can't prescribe this, but if you happen to be somewhere and they sell CBD, you might want to try it. So we did. Well, before we're going to let the kid try it, I'm going to try it. I put a droplet under my tongue, like he said, and held it there, and it felt like I put a droplet of WD-40 under my freaking tongue. Did not get the taste. Stopped at a Mexican food place, took 2 shots of tequila, and still couldn't get it out of my. So I'm like, and then I kind of felt weird. I was like, not so much a believer, but I didn't give up hope. So I'm sitting there going, all right, this is, and not a week later, a friend of mine owns a sushi place here. We're sitting in there, and he comes up to me and he says, dude, you got to hear about this opportunity. And listen, I've been in sales long enough. I've been approached by everything and never got into anything. And he says, you got to hear this. It's about CBD. I'm like, wait, what? And he says, yeah, we have this product. And I'm like, all right, tell me a little more. He said, well, the first thing about it, what you got to know is we've got the best absorption rate. We got a 94, it's water soluble at a 94% absorption rate. I'm like, wait a second. Stop talking. He thought I was shutting him down. I turned to my wife and I said, give me a checkbook. I said, how much is it for me to buy into this? But I'm writing you a check tonight. So I got into this not knowing anything about, and it's network marketing. Now we sell a lot retail, myself personally. We have a salon in Dallas, sell a ton of product out of there. So it doesn't matter how you want to sell it. I have people that have never built their network. They just retail it. So I don't really care. The bottom line is do I think it works? Yes. Some of you may deal with plantar fasciitis. Some of you may not even know you deal with it. But I've dealt with it for a long time. I've done almost everything short of surgery. I hate surgery. I hate pills. I cannot stand anything intrusive in my body. And so I'm sitting there going, all right, start taking this stuff. Not really feeling anything, feeling a little better. But within 4 to 5 weeks, I jump out of bed and I just all of a sudden I realize that, wait a second, I have no pain. None whatsoever. I'm like, no tightness, no pain. And it's just getting better.
Thanks everyone for jumping on. I know that it's hard on a Saturday. I'm just gonna, I do have a PowerPoint, so I'll share that, but it's relatively short because there's nothing worse than death by PowerPoint. So I feel like the relevance of our company and my presentation is very, very different this year compared to last year, in that we're in a very different environment. Last year when I came to the Midwest Ecom, the majority of the attendees were just shipping on Amazon. And as I'm sure that you guys all know and have felt personally, Amazon has made some major changes in terms of their business model and supporting small sellers. And so what I'm really going to do is just kind of go back to basics again and talk about, what a 3PL is, what we do, some things to, just look at and be aware of. Because again, I think that, our industry is much more relevant today for sellers that attend this conference than it was last year. So with that, just to move on, 3PL stands for third-party logistics, and One World Direct has been in business for over 25 years. We have 3 locations in the US, and we work with startups to well-established enterprise types of companies. We have our own in-house tech team, Open API. So from an integration and technology standpoint, that's a major differentiator in the market. But ultimately, a 3PL is a company that receives your goods from your manufacturer or wherever. We store the goods, and then we ship the goods to either your consumer, to a boutique shop, to a retailer for wholesale fulfillment. And so there are a lot of different types of fulfillment that we do. But the bottom line is it's both e-com and B2B. One of the major differences between a 3PL and Amazon, for example, is that you get to control where your goods are stored without having the overhead of the building, the people, and all the additional costs that are associated with order fulfillment in general. You get to interface with your own customers, manage the returns, decisions, and you get to own your customer database. Whereas, again, with Amazon, that is out of your control.
So ShipSwim is the easiest way to put it is desktop shipper on steroids. We manage all of your inventory. You could basically set up your own 3PL system. We wouldn't discourage you from doing that. However, we would discourage you from doing that. What we're trying to do is actually create a, for lack of better terminology, 3PL alliance. We've had a lot of customers come to us and say, hey, you know, we don't want to ship it out of our garage. We don't want to ship it out of our warehouse. We want to, you know, sell our warehouse, whatever. And, you know, can you point us in the direction of a good 3PL shipper? Which, you know, incidentally, I hate to, you know, say this, but it actually bounces our clients out of our ecosystem. So what we were hoping to do is say, hey, yeah, absolutely. In fact, keep using Swim, keep managing your inventory. You can still handle all of that here. We're going to send all of your orders as they come in out to your 3PL provider. And that would be amazing if we could get some sort of API integration and start plugging that in. Then we could just, you know, people could just roll on over into One World Direct.
Yeah, actually, we have our own negotiated agreements with carriers and therefore require clients to use our postage account.
Yeah, that's fine. All we would be doing is helping them manage their inventory.
Oh, sure.
So if I had a Shopify, multi-channel, you know, Shopify, all that stuff, and we would still send it your way.
Sure. So it's like
almost like drop.
And
say that again.
You're like an OMS.
Correct.
Got it. Yes. So yeah, we do direct integrations with order management systems. Like Scubana, trying to think, Trade Gecko, like a couple of those. Would those be your competitors?
Probably. I feel like we're a little more on the desktop shipper, Shippo, ShipStation, ShipHero, that level.
Yep.
But what we're finding in kind of, you know, being able to pivot is a lot of people aren't wanting to warehouse their own product.
Right. Yeah, like ShipStation is really popular right now. I talk to a lot of sellers that are using ShipStation because they have so many connections.
Yeah, so what we would want to do is actually allow our customers to be able to ship out of a 3PL, whatever that might be. Also, create a drop ship system as well. So, you know, for example, if I had CBD products, like Van was wanting to be able to just drop ship out of his Shopify store or whatever, we would actually send an either EDI or some sort of manifest request out to a drop shipper and have that actually integrate direct. So we're basically a giant OMS, but we also want to be able to send our customers who are, you know, asking for 3PL to an actual 3PL provider.
Exactly. Yeah, understood. Yeah, since we have an open API, we are able to do those integrations. They just take time, as you know.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, it doesn't look like Kat had to drop off. She's going to her daughter-in-law's baby shower, so that's exciting. Amber, I think you're off the hook. Thank you so much. If people have questions, you can contact Amber. What's the best way to contact you?
Email amber@owd.com.
owd.com.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate you having me. Just kind of give you a little history and a little background of me and our agency. Well Insurance was formed about 4 years ago. Like Liz said, we had a customer come to us that we wrote her products liability, her general and products liability policy, and she came to us and said, hey, if something happens to that product and it either causes bodily injury or property damage, chances are good you're going to be involved in a lawsuit. You know, worst case scenario, you're going to have tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees to hire an attorney to defend you. And then the policy will step in and pay for the attorney, to defend you. The policy will hire, one of their attorneys, but it also will pay for any judgments that, could be levied against you in the courts. Those judgments are not going to be, something you can write a check to make go away. They're going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So it's a pretty scary world out there. And Amazon actually requires you to have a general liability policy worth $1 million. You have to name them as additional insured, and you also have to send them a certificate of insurance. That's in your terms of service.
So now that I've told you about our software, I want to get into the content. Basically, we're going to talk today about what is Amazon FBA, which most of you already know. FBA 101, the basics, which I think are a couple of areas that people tend to get surprised by later on when they get started. And the different types of sellers, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in understanding the different types of sellers, choosing what to sell in FBA, and moving from one selling model to another. So that's something that I spend a lot of time talking to different sellers about, and sort of like informally coaching them and helping them with resources to help them move from one selling model to another. Like, I'm private label, but I want to become a brand. I'm retail arbitrage, but I want to start doing wholesale, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to keep it short, like I said, and then we'll cue Casey up. But basically, FBA is fulfillment by Amazon. It's a service provided by Amazon that provides storage, packaging, and shipping assistance to sellers. So basically, the benefits of it are there's free shipping on eligible. So the benefits to the buyer are that there is free shipping on eligible orders. Your FBA products are eligible for Prime 2-day shipping in most situations. Obviously, COVID-19 has kind of thrown a wrench in the works that way. And all Amazon.com customers can get free shipping on eligible orders. Amazon handles the customer service on your behalf and handles the returns for FBA orders, which in some cases is a blessing, in other cases a curse. And we can talk through that if you want to in a little while. And if you have questions in the meantime, just unmute yourself and interrupt me. That's absolutely fine. If not, we can save Q&A for the end, whatever you guys are comfortable with. The thing that's so great about FBA is that it provides so much exposure, right? So you're in a big pool with a lot of other sellers, and that's how people are searching, right? The average buyer on Amazon who is Amazon Prime, an Amazon Prime member, is not going to consider an item that's not available via FBA. So it is really it's your absolute best opportunity to be successful on Amazon, no matter what type of seller you are. Just some stats in 2019. 225,000 Amazon sellers worldwide eclipsed $100,000 in sales each. So that was up from nearly 200,000 sellers in 2018, and 15,000 US businesses broke $1 million. So the opportunity is real. And Amazon Prime has 112 million members in the United States, and that number just continues to grow as people move to like, there's a person across the street that gets a delivery from Amazon like every day. It's just like boom, 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 boom every day. People are moving to shopping more online because they don't want to go out in public. So we are seeing an increase in sellers on the Amazon marketplace because of that, because there is still opportunity. So how does FBA work? Basically, you send in your inventory. You send them to Amazon, and they store it in one or more of their million-acre fulfillment centers across the United States if you're just selling on .com. I don't know if you guys have ever done a tour of an Amazon fulfillment center, but it's really, really crazy. You've got humans and robots working together. The way they batch items on shelves is totally not what I expected, but it totally makes sense because they want things to be available to each picker. It's a huge, huge operation, and it's really, really impressive. So your items get there, they're inventoried and sorted, and if something is damaged, actually in an Amazon warehouse, Amazon will reimburse you the full retail price. You have to kind of get on them for that because it is a huge operation and there are lots of people working there, and you have to pay close attention to your inventory, the condition of your inventory. I encourage you to check for stranded inventory because sometimes damaged items will show up as stranded inventory. So we don't want to get too in the weeds, but Amazon will reimburse you for items that get damaged in their warehouses, but you have to keep track of what items those are. A customer places an order on Amazon for your product, and Amazon handles that transaction for you. You don't have to pack it. You don't have to ship it. All you had to do was ship it into Amazon. The entire process is automated. A picker picks your product from the shelf, puts it in a box, or puts it in a box with other items that the buyer has ordered and ships it to the customer on your behalf. And then Amazon follows up with the customer to make everything's okay with the order. You can ask for seller feedback at that point. Once things are delivered, if you are selling your own ASIN, you can ask for a product review. But in terms of, did it get there? Was it damaged? All that kind of stuff, that's Amazon's job. If somebody has a problem, they're actually supposed to contact Amazon on these orders, so they provide the customer service for you. The whole point behind FBA is that Amazon set it up so that the fulfillment centers are not warehouses, but they're processing facilities. So you send your items in, your items go out, and it's just this wonderful, symbiotic, supposedly seamless experience. And it is, in essence, seamless from the buyer's perspective. But as sellers, I think we know that it's just not always perfect, and you really kind of have to keep track with Amazon to make sure that you're not being charged excess fees, which is something that Yoni talked about yesterday. That's what his company does, is make sure you're not charged excessive fees. And that's what we're going to talk about next. You have to make sure that all of your inventory is moving. You've got to pay attention to certain metrics that Amazon imposes on you as a seller. So it's a lot to think about, but in the end, it's actually very much worth it. I'm offering free trials on all of our tools. This is kind of a messy page. We're going to send this deck out after the fact. Right, Van, people who are honest and not lying. Exactly, because there are liars out there and you have to be careful, and there are people that are looking to take advantage of you, and don't let them do that. You're too special and you're too brave, right? Like you've embarked into this industry. This is a crazy industry. I'm in love with it. I'm crazy about this industry, and you were brave enough to get into it. So do not get duped by any of them. Just don't.
I was about to say brave or crazy. I don't know which word you should use.
I choose brave, Casey, because I think that since I've been in this industry and I have met Amazon sellers, it is the bravest, most forthcoming, awesome, kind of crazy group of people I've ever met. And that's why I'm like such a dork about all this, is that like I want to help, you know? Like I want you to pay attention to FBA fees because there are a bunch of them, and they're different for different categories. And so you got to look at that page in Seller Central, and boy, is that painful, because Seller Central is an ugly, ugly place. But you have to understand the fees associated. You have to understand the rules. And I talk so much about the rules, but you have to understand the rules around ASIN variations if you're creating your own ASINs, because if you break the rules, you're going to get suspended, you know, and that would suck. So don't do it. We've got a free Amazon FBA guide. I'll do a free seller health assessment. If you're worried about your ODR, your IPI, all these acronyms, if you're worried about your order defect rate in terms of your negative feedback score, contact me. If you're worried about your IPI, contact me right away, because you only have until August 16th to fix that. If you're worried about your sell-through rate and the buckets that roll up into your IPI, email me, liz@ecomengine.com. I'm an open book to you guys, and I'm available all the time. You can also try any of our tools for no obligation whatsoever. Feedback 5 is a 30-day free trial. Restock Pro is a 30-day free trial. Market Scout is a 150 free credits, because that's not even a subscription tool. It's no credit card required. You just, boom, go in there and look up UPC codes and see if you want to sell that stuff. And then for repricing, which is becoming more and more important, try out Smart Price. And the cool thing about Smart Price is that we are trying to build the perfect group pricer. And that's why it's free, is because we want as many sellers as possible to use it and tell us, we want it to do this, or we want it to do that, or it would be cool if it did this, or this feature would be cool. So we're just keeping it open and free until you guys tell us, okay, that's exactly what I wanted, good to go.
You said it, and I'm so glad you brought up some of the topics that you brought up. It's a whole new world. That song just in my head, a whole new world. For anyone who doesn't know me, I am a very kind of unique to everyone else that you've probably heard from and talked to in my business model. 13 years. Yeah, I started when Craigslist didn't even have categories on it. Like, that's how long I've been selling. That makes me really old. And I do things in kind of a unique way as far as sourcing and selling goes. I do operate on 4 platforms. You said it: eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and we do wholesale. We do a little bit of Posh, not as much, but we buy stuff. You know, I started off buying 1s and 2s and thrifting, and I built it up to being able to buy in bigger quantities. And I do work on private label stuff and have it shipped in, and I work with a few products, and that is a part of my business. But a big chunk of my business is just buying up, you know, companies that go out of business, liquidations. I have done my share of pallet purchasing and wholesale purchasing like that. I still do. The margins, as a lot of you know, are not always the best. There's some deals to be had, but I like to buy things when people are in bad situations. And I know this sounds really terrible and I catch a lot of heat for this, but I want to buy your stuff when you're going out of business. I want to buy from you when you are quitting. I want to buy stuff when you have tons of Amazon FBA inventory that you can't move because either you don't know what you're doing, you're overpriced, you're stubborn, you're hard-headed, or you're just out of business or out of money. And that's what I make my living on. In fact, I just bought out, I'm going to show, I don't know if my phone's going to show here in the iPad. I just bought this entire store in Virginia out. It's a thrift store and church charity. So basically what happened was, the long story short, they were closed for 3 months. Everybody knows everything was shut down for months. And so they couldn't sell inventory. Their store was stocked, 4,000 square feet. It was stocked to the brims, but they're still receiving clothing and toys and donations, and they don't have anything to do with it. They were putting it in a shipping container behind their building. And eventually the shipping container got so full that they just were looking for a way to get rid of it. And so I went in and essentially I paid percentages of pennies per piece. Literally, I'm into it. The truck to get it and bring it to me costs more than the merchandise. And somebody just said I'm a shark buyer. It is. It's really the best way. And I preach this to my group. I have a Facebook group that has like 115,000 members. I tell them that you have to take advantages of situations, legally take advantage, mind you, and cut out the middleman. Pallet companies and wholesale companies are great, constant material, but they're going to make their money and the margins are going to be smaller. So you have to kind of think outside of the box. And so my circle about with this is the whole COVID shutdown worked in my favor on an amazing scale because people were shut down. Stores were losing money. Stores had to get rid of inventory. People lost their jobs and needed money quick. They needed to liquidate inventory. They needed to just get rid of stuff and turn it into money. I was buying up stuff so cheap, I can't even tell you. And so my unorthodox way of sourcing actually turned out to be fantastic for this environment. And I suspect in the next couple of months, it's going to get just as good because remember, a lot of people got stimulus checks and money right around, let's say what, March into April. So I think everybody paid their bills in April and probably into May, at least for the people that lost their jobs. And a lot of people got payment deferments. Usually those deferments were 2 to 3 months. So say June to July. My guess is that in August, a lot of people are going to be out of money and need money unless there's another stimulus package. Don't know yet. There are going to be some evictions, some foreclosures. There's going to be more stores going out of business. I do a regular series on my YouTube channel about businesses going out of business. So last year, 22,000 stores, retail stores were closed in this country. This year, it's going to be 40,000 plus. That's almost double from last year, or it may end up being double. And so you guys see the news stories every day. We've got Lucky Brand filing for bankruptcy. They're not out of business, but they're closing most of their stores. You've got, The Gap. You've got all of these stores that just continuously file
for bankruptcy, and then they have to close 100 stores. JCPenney, Macy's, Sears, all last year. And when these stores close, again, they're in bad situations. It's an opportunity to buy inventory. You can contact these people. You can reach out to them. Go to the local store. Talk to the managers. Call corporate. You have to be willing to put in the time. And so I wanted to kind of work this talk around, you know, I emailed Travis about it, and I said, I think I want to talk to people. We had this huge thing in 2001, pre 9/11, post 9/11. So now it's pre-COVID and post-COVID. And I was too young in 2001 to even know anything from anything. But now I understand that situations happen. Adapting and surviving is a must. And there are ways to build a business off of this. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of stock people buying up and getting rich off of this. Well, inventory is a stock that can't go down if you're buying it as cheap as I'm buying it. It can only at least get your money back. You have no risk. It's work. Don't get me wrong. There's work to be done. But if you do it correctly, you can make huge profits and stock up. So the two biggest points I want to make on this is, one, being prepared. None of us, and tell me in the chat, and even Liz, if you want to chime in, could anybody, if you thought about your business in the worst case scenario, could anybody have ever dreamed of this being a worst case scenario? Like literally, like if you played it out in your head of what were the worst things that could happen in the world or in your business, I don't think anybody thought of, well, you won't be able to go to retail arbitrage and thrift or any of these stores. None of this stuff's going to be open for 3 months. Not in a million years would I have thought of that being a possibility, ever. And so, where's the chat? Oh, there we go. And so his name is Sharkfire. Yeah, I saw that. So I think that prepping for worst case scenarios is great. None of us could have prepped for this, but you have to have alternative methods. So as soon as I realized I couldn't go to my normal stores, none of it was open. And on my back end, I realized all of my viewers and all of the people in the industry couldn't go, and that they were going to have to find other ways. Well, that gave me the opportunity. I'm like, well, I'm buying all this bulk stuff. I'm going to sell to them. You have to be prepared. You have to have a backup plan to a backup plan to a backup plan. And now that we're post shutdown and stuff's opening back up, I have all this inventory, and all these stores are trying to play catch up, and they're just going to keep selling me more. They're contacting me non-stop. And so this is the world that we live in post COVID. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months. Rising cases, states rolling stuff back. We'll have to see. But I don't have to worry about if they close the states back down. You know, I live in Florida, which is obviously one of the worst states right now, numbers wise. I don't care if they shut down. I just bought a building with 40,000 pieces in it. And, you know, I know not everyone's capable of storing that, but you can go somewhere and buy a couple thousand pieces or a couple hundred pieces. You can come to someone like me that does buy those 40,000 pieces, and I'm about to sell stuff for $1 and $2 a piece. So there's always, you know, get your lineup ready. Don't be scared to call people, to network. Social media is amazing. How many people on here are active on Instagram, like on a daily basis, or at least, you know, a couple times a week? If you're not, you have to be. There's people who constantly put things in Instagram like, hey, I'm quitting eBay. I need to sell 500 pieces of clothes. Boom. Quitting eBay, liquidating, needs to buy 500 or sells 500 pieces. Go in, buy it, have it shipped. Don't worry about where they live. Shipping will take care of itself. And I wanted to, just while I'm here, thank you to Liz, of course, and to Travis for always having these. And we're making the best out of a bad situation here, because we can't all be in Minneapolis, which sucks. Everyone that knows, my fiance is from Minneapolis. I love going back there. And I miss everyone who's always there, and it sucks that we can't be there. So best of the bad situation.
It does. It's always such a fun weekend.
Yep.
There's so much good food.
Yeah, Minneapolis has got good food. You know what? My fiance goes to Minneapolis just for their fair, because the fair food is ridiculous. And that's canceled.
That. Yeah, I've heard that. There are a lot of people that are really, really disappointed about the fair.
Yep. The fair, I think it's the biggest one in the country, is the Minneapolis Fair, and it's canceled. Like,
I started out in 2015 as a regular Amazon seller. I was excited to get my feet wet in this business and start out. When I first launched the company, my wife, I love her, but she's very much set in her ways she has her master's degree. She's a teacher, 20 years of teaching. And, you know, she likes that solid, the salary, the known income, no matter what, every month she knows what she's going to make. And that stability is huge for her. And so when I started on Amazon, instead of going into a teaching career or something like that, she was very uncertain about it, and she liked to poke fun at me. My very first payout was just, I don't know, just a few dollars. She jokingly told me, she's like, oh, look at that, you can buy me a soda. And each time that I had another payout, she, you know, made a little, you know, snarky little comment, oh, look, you can buy lunch today, or something like that. And I remember the first time that my payout was large enough to cover our mortgage. And I told her, it looks like I'll be covering the mortgage this month. And so it was a fun journey. It was different. It was something that neither one of us I had been in sales since I was 16, but I had never done, you know, any type of platform besides eBay, and nothing with FBA where you send things in. And so when I started looking into making this more of a career, not just a hobby, not just something to do, I found myself getting really deep into a lot of the Facebook groups and understanding more about the community and learning from people in the community, because together we are, there's a lot of strength there. We're a good force of people that can really help each other grow and have that mastermind and that networking. Almost everybody out there can find someone that has been through what they're going through or will go through it. And so whether you're able to help someone or get help, you know, one of the greatest pieces of advice I've received in this business was from a seller. He said, it's not what you get out of this business, it's what you contribute and what you're able to give. And so I try to give back and try to help out as much as I can. So when I started private labeling, it wasn't, when I first started Amazon, it wasn't my goal to private label. But like I said, or like was said, you know, it's looming in the background. Everyone kind of talks about it. And I was excited. I was like, I'm going to go find something. I was in the Navy when I was younger. So I was trying to find a niche. Everyone talks about, you know, find a niche, find something that works for you, find something you know. And I was a photographer while I was in the military. So I looked into the photography side of things. And when you go private label, if you go with US companies, often they follow the rules and the requirements and, you know, copyright, those things, which is obviously important, but they follow them a lot better, a lot, you know, more precisely than overseas companies do. And I found a product. It was actually something, it was, I'll just tell you, it was a photography. Basically, I was looking to make modern day Polaroids. I had some options that I found that worked really well. I wanted to make a line of those. And when I first started reaching out to companies, then it was extremely easy. So this is our 4x6s that are being produced right now. And I want to show the quality of the seam. The adhesive, of course, he's putting that on first. The 4x6s don't have the suffocation warning because the opening's less than 5 inches. But if you look at that, hey, this is my from the factory. His name is Steven, and I tell him, I said, don't break your thumbs there. It'll just show you just the quality of. This is overstuffing. This isn't something you would normally do, but I wanted to stress the seams. I wanted to test it out. I wanted to give us ability to see. So that actually, let me back up here, that the seal itself, grab another one for you. When you close it, sorry, but let me mute that. The seal itself, when you close it, like the adhesive is going to grab so tight that you end up ripping the bag if you have to before the actual seal itself. But it's not so bad when you have a customer needs to get into it. They just poke the bag and open it as normal. This is going to be, let me see here. These are 10 by 15s. I'll keep the sound off, so under the factory. But if you look there, like we really want these bags to be strong. Do one more there. Early on, when we started, this is, right here's my wife's hand. This is to show the strength of the adhesive. And these are, we just have just really short videos on our YouTube channel, nothing long. Our website doesn't have any ads on it. It's just, you're there for poly bags right now. And that's just all there is. We don't have any other, you know, fluff on there to distract you with. we understand the need of poly bags. That's my wife. She's pulling super hard, and that was within, if you watched her at the beginning, she literally just pulled the strip off, rubbed her hand across there, and went ahead and tried to pull it open. Now, if you do forget something, you've got about 2 to 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, where you could open it back up if you didn't press hard like that. She went ahead and slid her hand across there to get the good seal. But basically, as we were running this private label product, these pictures on top here, you can see these are weights that are in there. Now, we don't recommend, obviously, shipping plates in your bags, but it was just to show the demonstration of how strong these actual bags are.
I had this conversation on Friday that blew my mind. There's this company called Accrue Me. And this guy, Don Henning, runs it. And he has got a background in mortgage broker, like mortgage. He's like a mortgage guy. He was. And then he took some time off and basically he had the entertainment company that put Rock of Ages on Broadway also. So like an entertainment company, and he was involved with them making the movie with Tom Cruise and all that kind of stuff, and has stories about that. Basically, the guy's been entrepreneurial since he was like 9 years old, and he was the top salesman of his local newspaper. So I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, well, look, so I've got this business that provides startup capital to Amazon sellers. And I'm like, huh, so how does that go? Like what's the interest rate, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, well, see, that's the thing, is that we don't charge interest. What we do is like, we say, okay, how much startup capital you have? You have $10,000. Okay, we'll give you another $10,000. And then basically you agree to a share of profit with these dudes. It's 2 dudes, Don and I haven't met the other guy yet. And that's kind of it. So like if you end up selling your Amazon business, they don't get a cut of the sale. They just get their initial investment back and the cut of profits that they agreed on. And the cool thing is you don't have to pay them every month. So like if you're getting started, you can accrue the payment that you pay them, like you can pay them quarterly, or you can pay them every 6 months or whatever. But basically, he was telling me he and his partner went to this venture capitalist in New York City, and they were talking about the 242 rule, because the guy that started Starbucks had to go to 242 different investors before somebody would give him the money for Starbucks. Which, think about that, because Starbucks is, the evil empire. I'm just kidding. Starbucks is great. Don't get mad at Starbucks. But this venture capitalist within a week gave these guys $100 million, and they've got $100 million burning a hole in their pocket, and they want to invest in Amazon sellers, and they need an introduction to the industry. And I talked to him on Thursday, and I said, well, I'm doing the Midwest Ecom conference on Friday, so I'm going to give out your contact information and see if anybody wants to contact you about getting some of your money, because you have plenty to throw around. So if anybody wants Don's contact information, email me at liz@ecomengine.com and I will introduce you to him. So I vetted him. I looked it up. It's on the up and up. I can send you this PowerPoint he gave me. I was introduced to him by James Thompson from Buy Box Experts and the Prosper Show. Norm seems to think that his business is pretty cool. It's not quite like the other investment models, and they've got a slide about that. There's no fees associated with it. They care, and they are just 2 dudes with a whole big bucket of money. So I find that very interesting. I don't know if you guys do or not. I'm gonna pop that guy's email address with all the money.
Oh yeah. In
the chat. So if you guys want to reach out to him, tell him that you heard about him at Midwest Ecom, because that will make him happy.
Happy. I'm gonna reach out to him. I mean, I don't need money, but I don't ever want to turn down money either.
Well, and it's interesting, like for your group, Casey, I think that would be, like you could get him on a Facebook Live or something, because I mean, he works with some small brands, but he only works on Amazon, right? So yeah. What is your Amazon capital? Do you need more? So if you're, it's great if you're like looking into a new private label product or something like that.
So give me an idea, and you don't have to get too personal or too specific, but what kind of levels, because like somebody I would say the average Amazon, you know, the full-timer, not just the hobby seller in my groups, are probably in the 50 to 100,000 range. You know, there's some, I personally on Amazon, I probably only do about 150 to 200,000 a year. I mean, what kind of levels is he looking for?
Well, you know, we have a little bit of time before the last speaker talk, so I'm just going to show you guys this. This is a little unorthodox, but I'm going to unpin you as, whoops, that's the wrong screen. Sorry, I just don't have it together today on Zoom, right? I'm going to make me the spotlight video, which I should have done during my own presentation, and I'm going to share my screen, which is this one. He sent me this yesterday and just said, this is kind of like what it's all about. So basically, they like professional Amazon sellers. This is a bunch of salesy stuff, but Don is a super nice guy and is like a financial kind of whiz kind of guy. And he's got $100 million to invest in profitable Amazon sellers. So there it is with the $100 million. And the minimum is only $5,000. If you've got $5,000 to put into your Amazon business and be tracked by their organization, he will match that or negotiate something with you. That's Don. He's New York based. Like I said, he has a lending background, finance and mortgage. You can find him on LinkedIn, Donald Henning. He will accept you. He, like I said, he started Rock of Ages on Broadway and then has created 8 feature-length films. So that's fun to talk to him about. And he's built and sold multiple companies and retired really young, but then he came out of retirement because he, like me, learned about Amazon sellers and was like, well, that's cool. How do I help with that? That's his whole thing. Like, I want to help people. So basically, this is the terms. So no collateral, no personal guarantee, no interest, no credit report, no tax returns or financial statements. Basically, you'll need to provide transparency into your Amazon sales. So they get a small % of your monthly product. It's organically declines in percentage the longer that you're with them. They're not on your Seller Central account. They're not part of your LLC. They're not part of any of your business. If you ever choose to sell your business, they don't get a cut of the profit. They just get what they agreed on to begin with, like I said. And they know that if you tank, they tank, you know, with that, that's loss. So I'm sure that there's other fine print, and it's not just like, oh, here's the money, don't worry, you don't ever have to pay it back. I mean, you do have to pay it back. But he gave an example, and this is just like money. So this person had $10,000 capital. They gave them that much too. And that's how the money works out. And if Travis wants to, he can send this out too, or you guys can actually talk to Don yourself. And I didn't really go through this and know that I had animation, but you can give your profit, you know, the agreed profit to AccrueMe, or you can let it accrue. So assuming you left your profit in and AccrueMe does the same in month 2, then it just gets put back into the business. But you do owe them their cut eventually. The cool thing about him is the way this all works, like, you don't have to do a credit check. You don't have interest associated with it. There aren't monthly payments involved. There's no permanent equity. And they do give you additional funds to grow your business monthly. So if they're seeing that things are going well and they think, you know what, you could do this much, we're financial experts and you could do this much better if you had this much more money, then they'll work with you on that. So that's their website. There's a calculator there. They want you to be at least selling 6 months successfully on Amazon. Though I do think if you're about to launch on Amazon and you've never sold before, you could probably talk to him and see if he'll do something for you. You have to have at least 5,000 in capital. You have to have an LLC or be willing to become an LLC. And mouse is not clicking. Oh, that's the end. So yeah, basically that's his spiel. Like I said, he was sent to me by James Thompson, and I record James. I mean, I was just like seeing, I trust James. I trust James very much. And it's a different way than the other financing companies work. It's just a different way altogether. And these guys are interested in organic growth and helping you succeed. So Don really wants to see this work. So I encourage you guys to reach out to him.